That's okay. They just heard us offline. Whatever. Welcome. Welcome, everyone.
That's funny. Sorry about that.
Mhm.
Don't do me like that.
You did yourself. You tell me I'm confused.
Well, you know I'm disoriented right now. Just a tad bit.
A smidge. Well, hi, Marvina again. Anybody else who wants to join? Anybody there? We want to wait a minute or two for people to come in or no?
Yes, while we wait a minute, we want to give our thoughts out to everyone who's affected by the winter storm, especially those in Texas. Because if you saw our live on Saturday or either watched it on replay or you were there, literally right after we went off live, our power went out.
Yeah, for a whole 24 hours.
So we just caught it right on time with it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it went out because we had like 72 miles an hour winds. So that's why it went out. But yeah, and we was actually stuck for 24 hours. But anyways, welcome back, Marvina. Thank you. And everybody else that's on with us.
Okay, we're just going to start talking about Married at First Sight. And one of the first things that I just want to mention is, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of the show. And I never thought that I would say that I'm tired of the show, especially this early, because we had seasons where we had people who were, not the best suited to be on here, just to put it in nicer terms and words.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Chris and whatever he brings just drains me. Because I remember just about to watch the show, and I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to watch the show right now. Like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to take notes on him because I already know everything's going to be so negative about him.
Hi, Talbra, Marvina, Seus. Exactly. And I feel, hi, Chatting It Up. I feel the same way, too. It's really, I used to look forward to watching Married at First Sight. But because we know that there's going to be some sort of black cloud over one particular couple, it's hard to watch. And I think the consensus is we want Paige to wake up and move on. Honestly, how many outs does Chris have to give her for her to take it? And she's so stuck on it's a process. I don't know that they would match us if, God and the matches or whatever. I'm like, no, girl, that is not it. Hey, Chloe. And it's just done.
For who? For you? For me?
Yeah.
Not for her. For some reason, she wants to keep going. And I'm not calling her a victim because I know some people might get mad at that word victim. But at the same time, can we really 100% blame it all on her?
No, we can't blame it all on her because now she has seen what he brings to the table, which isn't much as nothing, just flashiness. She's given all the clues, all the context clues, all the red flags are waving in the wind, and she's still
the supporting details.
Would insert it here. And she's still staying. Now it's up to her now. It's up to her to accept the things she can't change because that's what she's doing. I just want to know how much more does she have to put up with? We haven't even got to the nitty gritty. They haven't made it back home yet.
That's my whole thing.
And you know that he's going to be in contact with his soon-to-be baby mama. And just explain to me.
No, you know what I thought was the craziest part, even though it's all crazy. When they were in that hotel room and they were packing up, and I know I said this in our video yesterday, but I'm gonna say it again. And she was like, I really haven't spoken my piece yet. He was like, so why haven't you? Why didn't you speak on it? And then when she did speak on it,
Devontae,
he was like, well, you never really asked me about it. You never asked me about how Max was doing, how this was doing, how that was doing. But I was like, what did that mean again? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Paige is a better person than me because I don't even understand. He is even saying that if it was him, he would be out.
Hey, John. I don't understand someone like Paige. I don't. I've never been in a situation like that.
Because you.
What?
You. I don't know about you.
No, I'm not. I've never been.
You have a higher
standard.
higher esteem about yourself. So whenever someone does something, you're just like, why? Well, why did they do that? You're just like, well, think about it a little bit.
Well, I'm a literal person, meaning whatever you put out there is what I'm gonna take you as face value. The minute I said this before, the minute you come off face value, then I'm gonna look at you side eye because I have no reason to doubt what you say. There's no reason to start off as a grown adult with a lie. For what? Because it's not gonna benefit me. You know, so what she say? Why she has to ask is my question.
That's what I wanted to know. She didn't have to ask, but you know, he pretty much drug her to the bathroom, turned the water faucet on, the shower on to tell the secret, and then he's gonna say that that's him giving his all. But speaking on that part, we have to talk about, because of course we're gonna come back to Chris, because it's basically the Chris show, so we have to talk about him, unfortunately. But with Virginia and Clara, while I don't think they should have confronted Chris about that situation, because it really wasn't their business, but at the same time, if they're gonna bring the heat, I don't understand why Clara just didn't go all in. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? He was just gonna stand there and be like, yeah, okay, I understand what you guys are coming from. No.
Well, clearly Virginia has a little bit more spunk than we thought she did. Hey, Sylvia, but maybe, you know, Clara's like, okay, I'll come with you. But if stuff pop off, I'm gone. I mean, I know people like that. You know, I'll come with you. But after that, you know, I'm out. So that's the vibe she gave me. So, but anyways, yeah. But do you want to touch on real quick that Dr. Pepper Instagram post we just saw?
I'm like, no.
No. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but while I was, you know, on my break during work, I saw that someone screenshotted that Dr. Pepper made an Instagram story about.
That wasn't no screenshot. I saw that from Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. It was
It was on
our timeline.
I saw the screenshots from Facebook.
Oh no, I may be on my phone too. Go ahead.
So I'm just gonna read it. She says, "Thanks everyone for being concerned about Chris. I understand, of course. So let me try and explain my point of view. First of all, we do a lot of in-depth research on people. If anybody remembers that scene with Binya, I can't remember.
Knock it off.
I can't remember her name. And Mia,
Tristan and Mia.
I call him Binya if you ever seen Gulliver Island.
I mean,
that's exactly.
I mean, you was like a little girl. I mean, that was okay.
Anywho, not only do they fill out long questionnaires and have several interviews with all three of us, plus producers, there is also an outside independent psychological firm that gives tests to applicants at 2 different times. There is also a forensics researcher looking for any legal infractions in the last 10 years. And we also look at decade back for social media posts that might disqualify someone. See, I can't even read the whole thing because there's so many things wrong with this. Because how did we find the YouTube post of him getting engaged before y'all did? And y'all still thought that was cool?
Right.
I think I'm gonna have to post it somewhere because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get
well here thing. I screenshotted it too. This is the original screenshot right here.
Oh no, you just have what she said on here. I have all the receipts. It's a lot. Yes,
you're on.
I'm with y'all. Oh, how y'all doing?
Good. How about you? You back at work? I see.
No. Yeah. Y'all always go on when I work at night.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe they do real background checks. No, so I don't know who she's trying to convince us to.
But Dr. Pepper was trying to say that she wanted to say that she felt bad and she's disappointed in the offensive ways to this, how Chris comes across to herself and the viewers. So she understands why people are upset. Well, your other buddy don't, because Dr. V was on there talking.
Well, let's give her credit. That was a few weeks ago.
Still. Go ahead, Devontae. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. I don't know why they let this man on here, but I'm with you, Millennial, with the they should have been. That was the one thing I can go with. I can really agree with Chris on. They overstepped their boundaries.
Okay, I saw his point in that, but let me tell you something. I saw his point in what he was saying, but because there had been so much drama in that 3-day span, the point on the group. You know what I'm saying? The point was lost because there are.
What's the point?
Well, the point was, I'm trying to keep it private, is between me and Paige. But since all this drama and they're trying to protect Paige, the point was lost. You know what I'm saying? To me.
Right.
Well, in my opinion, if I just meet someone or they're my friend in the girl group and we're all getting married or whatever this case might be, if they're going through something, I'm not approaching that man. I'm going to talk to the female because I don't have any conversation with him. For what? Because it can go left at any point of time, and I'm not trying to be here for that.
Right, Tamar.
I do, baby.
Yeah. So you agree with Chris on his point about them being nosy, or you agree with Chris's point?
My whole take was it was just white people being white people.
Oh my gosh.
You know, what they look, sip right. Look, they just be jumping in, trying to be all offended, and then when that side come out of us, you like, who you talking to? It ain't your business. Then they want, oh my God, I don't know what happened. He just started yelling at me. Like, go over there with your husband on the number 4 ATV. Okay, y'all got your own problems. Virginia, what are you here? Like, you drinking all? You can't tell. I understand you trying to be concerned for her, but why you gonna come to him? Well, I mean, you could have went to Paige, and Paige don't even. I don't think she really messed with them like that. Like, she went to Brianna's room. I feel like if she was real cool with them, she would have like got all the girls together. So I got something to tell y'all. Right. Brianna. So you know what I mean. And Brianna, they wasn't even there, but
they weren't there. Right. But how did you feel about Chris stepping to the women the way he did, though? Did you feel that?
I did feel like he did. He went a little over, especially talking to women like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think he need to be that aggressive and he cussing and all that. Like, I understand if they came at him like that, then it is what it is. But it's just like at some point, and if you cool with their husband and you know they wife stepping out line, you still supposed to have enough respect for the husband to be like, all right, man, get your wife. She keep on cussing at me. I'm gonna have to say something. You know what I mean?
Right. So again, back to my point, saying that what he was trying to say, the point was lost. Because once him and Paige walked away and everybody walked away, went to their little corners or whatever before they got on that van to come back, I'm going to make all hell break loose on the van, which means he is not mature enough to let it go. So which means he intentionally riled up the people that was there for more drama. And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I said, so that's why I think his point was lost. Like, you know, the privacy issue, the point was lost because he kept going. Because then even Paige was like, okay, let's calm it down. And he still had this like, I know that look. My son used to do that when he was a teenager. You know, he got mad, just huffing and puffing. So
my brother used to do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to comment on that. But that's why I think that like I said, he was right. I was rolling with him on that, but he just went about the whole thing wrong, and that was it. So now, when they came back in the evening time, and he apologized, do you think he apologized from the heart?
You already know that answer.
I'm asking Devontae. I know your answer.
No, Paige was probably like, you know, you might have went a little overboard and scared the white folks. Now, calm that down. You can't be doing that. Now they all scared of us and they ain't gonna want to go to dinner with us. He probably, you know, you're right. So he went and talked to, you know, I think he was sincere with them though, with the other people. But I really think if Virginia was there, he would have been petty. He was like, I'm apologizing, y'all.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, because he comes across immature like that for sure. I said in our review, I think he would have glossed over Eric and Virginia because specifically doesn't like Eric Virginia. What do you call it? You drunker. We got to worry about you in the casino. Now that made me.
What do you say? You a drunker.
No, that was funny. But that's true.
Yeah. And Claire was mute because she was nervous at that point. I don't think she thought that Chris was going to bring that energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how she didn't think that, but she did, and that's what she got. So, you know, when you give someone a reaction, you can't really, you know, say on what's going to happen after that. And then on top of that, you know, even though, yeah, he did apologize 6 hours later, that was cute, I guess. But I still feel like Eric had every right to still step to Chris in whatever capacity that was, because he did disrespect this woman. And you know what? People have different timelines on when they pop off. And when you bring the energy, you have to expect the energy at any time, any place.
Man, but Chris knew who to pop off on. He wouldn't have did that to Vincent. He wouldn't have did that to Vincent. He was like, I think you need to get your wife, Vincent, because he was all up with Eric. You know the pilot don't want no smoke. So you picked the right one. You know what you was doing.
That's not true. Devontae, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. Because he spoke to Clara.
Go ahead, Cliff. Go ahead.
He spoke to Clara.
Your background.
I'm echoing again?
Yeah. Let me mute Devontae's mic. Go ahead.
Okay. He spoke to both ladies with the same energy. And to me, he had every right, because they wouldn't stop. I don't like because they're women, he shouldn't say anything, or he went too far. If they know they're women and they don't like that situation, don't put themselves in that predicament. The same way I would tell my sisters and my daughters. Like, they should have stayed out his business. Devontae, mute yourself for a second, because there's something wrong with my thing and it echoes. Thank you. And to me, I feel like they shouldn't put themselves in that predicament. They kept going, kept poking. He kept asking them to stop. So once a person is on 100, you can't tell them to chill. I tell people this all the time. If you go up to somebody and slap them and they shoot you, you can't tell nobody about their response. Is it over the top? Yes. But you provoke them. And to me, they provoked him. He said he stated for a few days not to do that. Damn, is that going bad?
It is. Well, Cliff, on that, you got to mute yourself, Devontae. Cliff, on that, I agree. I don't know if you was here the whole time, but I agreed with the point of, you know, they got what they deserve when they came with Chris with the noise. But my point to that is, the point was lost on what he was trying to convey about the privacy thing and how it's between him and Paige and how, you know, they just want to handle between them, was lost when he kept going and going and going, and then intentionally continued on with that on the bus ride. So that's where everything fell apart. So to me, his maturity level is not there, because if he really wanted to let it go, because everybody had walked away by then, why keep egging people on the bus? So that's where go ahead.
He was still. Yes, they got on the van, but from what is showed, they went from in front of Paige to on the van. Right? So I'm still upset. Just because you stop being upset, don't mean I'm not. Like, and this is my point. Once you poke somebody and you keep poking, because this wasn't a one-day thing, their reaction is their reaction, and you get what you get. So when he said he's going, and I understand he's a young man. So when he said he was going on that van and he was going to cause hell, it's because you poked the bear already. So no, I don't have to be would it be nice if he the bigger person? Of course. But he don't have to be. They was nasty already. What's his name? The pilot was standing there with his wife. Why wouldn't you pull your wife away or tell her to chill?
No, I agree with that.
As a husband, that's what he should have done.
I agree. The wives, I mean, the husband should have pulled their wives to the side. And if the men wanted to have a conversation, if Chris wanted that, I think they could have had that. But they definitely should have pulled the wives to the side to chit chat with them. And where was Ryan with this? You know what I'm saying? He just let his wife just be out there just to be out there. And I was like, see,
Well,
he was over there eating a granola bar.
and that's another problem I have. If you let your wife talk to me crazy, don't get upset when I talk to her back, because I'm not just going to let her talk to me crazy and you don't care to correct her.
Yeah, it was a bunch wrong in that, but again, for once we saw Chris's point, but again, the point was diminished based off of the continuation. I just think that's what it was, because he did have a valid point. And, I'm not, it's hard for me to give Chris his credit because we haven't seen too much to give him credit with, but with that, he was correct. Mm-hmm. So,
and that's why, with all that being said, I don't feel bad that Eric still has something to say later on, because Chris poked him and his wife, and just the energy at that moment, he still gave the energy.
Hi, Elena.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I mean, I'm with Cliff in terms of Clara and Virginia poke the bear. Because to me, it was the right message, wrong messenger. If that had been, what's her name, like Paige Good Judy, the girl with the locks, or maybe like her mom or her brother, I'm like, yes, get him. But it's hard for me to rejoice in Chris getting hammered by questions when it's coming from Virginia and Clara. I mean, you met her 2 weeks ago. That ain't your best friend. I understand the sentiment. It's just, they should have just been quiet. It's just, you take it in your mind like, oh my God, Chris is not a good person, and you support Paige as much as you can. But what are you going to tell Chris? What do you think he was going to say? You guys are right. Come on now. He wasn't going to do that.
Exactly.
Right. He wasn't. Yeah, it's a fine line to walk with Chris so far. And it's only week 6, because we know there's so much more coming. So it's hard to be positive because there's so much negative energy coming from that direction, whether it be from him, outside sources. So it's hard to be positive. But I'm trying to find something small, but he's got to work with us to find something small, because you can't say that he's like stringing Paige along now, because Paige knows what's going on. She sees it. She's still willing to deal with it because whatever her belief system is, even though most of the people are like, flag, yellow flag, white flag, girl, let's go, leave, call you Uber, seriously. For all of you who don't know, who do know, we live here in Vegas. And I promise you, if they was filming that live, I would have tried to be in the Mandalay Bay. It's not that far. To try to let them know what's up. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, don't do it, girl.
Right from the side.
The problem is God is a problem. Literally every time he mentions God, her eyes glazes over. He will say in the same breath, I don't find you attractive, or I'm gonna go with my baby mom if I want to. Then he'll say, but I'm spiritually attracted to you. And that's it. My praying grandma called me. That's it. You're a woman of God. She's like, oh Jesus. And it's like, girl, you just can't sit here and use God.
Pray for him too.
Yeah. Oh.
If that was me, you're like, pray for me. I'm like, everybody bow your head. Jesus wept. Okay. No, you're not praying for you. You're not praying for. I need to pray for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised Paige ain't smoke no weed in Vegas, because she just need to go ahead and go to a dispensary. I know her face just looks so stressed. She just look like, it's just sad.
Where's Paige family?
They don't know. Do you think she contacted them?
I feel like perhaps they have, but they don't want to show it.
I don't know, but since they're coming home next week, since Chris's family knows everything, I'm expecting to see all her bridesmaids who was talking about they wanted to fight.
They're not gonna do nothing
at the house or something.
They didn't even help.
She ain't gonna tell them the truth
at the marriage, when Chris was basically dogging her out in front of her friends.
Yeah.
She didn't put her up. So
I think because the wedding's done, he's no longer her day. maybe the gloves are off and like, let's jump him. Or at least the brother would say something. That's what I'm hoping. I just want someone cursing out Virginia.
I would like to see this upcoming episode. I would like to see them come home and her a phone call from an expert or a visit, a call or a visit from for a friend or family member, because she needs some assistance. Because everyone that's on this show is in the same boat with her. They just met each other. They're all technically strangers. So I mean, how much advice can you give someone you don't know? So, but her family could hopefully kind of guide her to what's going on and direct her, because this is not working, and it is honestly, we don't know what to expect every week, and I know everyone keeps saying it, but it's hard to watch someone to keep going through the same thing. And I would say it even if it was a man, it's hard to watch. And my thing is too, if this was a domestic violence issue, would the expert stepped in? Or would they let the honeymoon continue? I mean, where do they draw the line on this? Because this is still a form of abuse. Go ahead, Cliff. You was trying to get in.
I mean, domestic violence is different. I wouldn't put this in nowhere near close. She's grown. She could do what she want to do. We both all know I have a different outlook on Chris. This episode is the only time I was like, okay, I can understand her being out, because I felt the same way when it came to Katie. Katie came on the show, said she was in love before she even met her husband. My only problem when I watch reviews is being that, I watch a lot of people. It wasn't that same energy for Katie. Katie came in, said she was in love. It was brought up, but then it was pushed to the side. When it's a man, and being that Chris is not liked, it's just the hate is so crazy. Paige is also a young woman, right? So she might look back at this situation, whether she stay or leave, and what she's doing now. What she is around 26, 27?
I think they're both 26. I think they're both 26.
Okay. I believe he's 27. But
okay,
when she look back at when she's 30, she might look back and say, I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did that. I give her a little leeway. My issue is for somebody to come on the show when they know they're in love with somebody else. I think that's ridiculous. So I have an issue with that part. Everything else that everybody been on his case about, I really don't. Because I'm looking at Haley, what's her name? Haley and
Jacob.
What's the guy? I don't hear nobody saying anything about her sleeping with him and then dissing him. But when it was Chris, it was all hell.
Now
Go ahead,
I will say,
Devontae.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Devontae.
I was just saying I did to what Cliff said about Haley. I won't raise my hand now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One thing so go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I disagree about the Katie hate, because unless I probably just watched different viewers, but the Katie hate was strong because Homegirl was on some BS. But the Haley situation, I have seen people downplay as the sex was trash. But my thought process is, we are all surprised she had sex with him for a reason, because we didn't think she liked him. I feel like, and when she described having sex with him, she said, why not? Who wants to hear that? If I want some dude who I'm liking, he's like, sure, why not? About sex with me. And then to lie about on this group excursion, that to me was just some sucker stuff. And I just can't believe she did that. It wasn't appropriate.
No, it wasn't appropriate. And also, too, going back to when was it? When was Katie and Derek on? Whatever it was. I know one of the first things that Millennial or Cassandra said was, oh my God, I can't believe they let her on after coming out of a relationship. I mean, you mentioned it because that was a crutch for you like the whole season.
I know, I didn't like her since then. Like, how are you going to let somebody on? And the experts knew.
They keep doing that.
Yeah, they keep doing that. It's not the first time they've done that. They've done that with, like we said, Katie and Derek. They've done that with now allegedly Chris. They've done it on other seasons. That Tristan and Mia, they tried to say that. I mean, she didn't even make it out the airport. She was drug off to jail for violation for something. I forgot what it was. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know,
Oh yeah, he just got married.
and they were like, "Oh, well, we didn't know." Well, if you vetted people, you would know that she had a long-standing record of charges.
Right. Dr. Pepper said 10 years back. So somebody.
I just wanted to be clear so the chat will understand. When I say, I'm not saying that it wasn't mentioned, but Katie wasn't dragged coming into the show for those actions. Katie got dragged towards the end of the season. Right. Her hate came later. So when I bring up Chris, what I'm trying to say is Chris from episode 1, before we had these, he's been dragged and been hated. And I just see when it's a woman, it's different. And I could, like I said, I could point out different people where the same actions happen is not the same. And that's my only thing. I'm not saying that everything Chris do is right, because like I said, watching this episode, somebody tell me they still love their ex, and being married, yeah, one. All right, God bless you and her. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should say.
Right. You should, but it didn't. So you know, how do we compare that? Because this truly is apples to oranges. Because
I know that's something I've been struggling with too with this season, because I dislike Brandon. Like, there's been so many people on the show who I really dislike. There's something about Chris. He hasn't done anything too drastic, but the things that he's done so far and all the things that just coming out and him being on live and all this other stuff, it's just something about his energy. It's just not good energy. And I also think it's when he keeps putting that aspect in it for me. Know that godly. I think I'm more spiritual on that side. But it's like everything about God, he always says that to pull her back in. And it's so disgusting to me, because if you're true about your faith, you're not doing that with your faith. And that's also probably why I don't like his father too, because his father was doing extra stuff. And I know some people have their own opinions on it, but I'm calling it like I see it. And that's just how I genuinely felt. And that's probably even more of a reason why I think it's a struggle for me to watch this season, because it's low-key triggering. I'm just like, I'm ready to kickbox this TV because this man has me messed up.
No, it's very triggering. And let me tell you why. I was specifically waiting for this live to say. I think that Chris was chosen based on the fact that there's not very many young black men or black men in general who come and apply for this show. And I think because of the status that he had, meaning his self-imposed rag to riches story, because to me, he technically wasn't homeless. He chose to have a place to stay. That's not technically homeless. Now, he had a business. He's got a good job, stuff like that. And we don't see that type of representation on Married at First Sight. We haven't as the seasons have progressed. I mean, Woody has a great job. Miles has a great job, but they was just last year. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't had that representation. So I think that's one of the reasons that they chose. I'm not saying that they didn't see the signs, but I'm saying they saw the signs. And I think they want to bring in, American viewers, men, because I believe there's a lot of women who watch the show, mainly, to see that, we can come on the show to be successful, have a lifetime partner, and go on from there, because we haven't seen that. And I honestly believe that's why they chose Chris. But Chris's background, the drama, the negativity that he's brought to the show has just wiped all that away. That's just my opinion.
I think also to that is these experts are picking people who have these very glaring red signs that we can see it. I'm like, how can they not see it? In an instance with Chris, to me, I'm like, he had a lot of emphasis on look. Cool, you don't gotta be attracted to Paige. But this ain't Love Island. This is not The Bachelor where they're picking cute models out to pick. It's regular schmegular folks like you and me. So sorry, I'm coming here with the 6-packs and all that, besides like Jacob, but it's neck down for him. So I'm not, to have that kind of high standards is ridiculous. Then you have Haley. I haven't been in a relationship for 7 years, but let me be married to a stranger. What? Virginia, I don't want to change anything for my single life. and I usually get rid of a relationship before it gets too hard. Why are you here? This therapy first, Ma, then come to the show, maybe.
Right. And to take a cue from the Courtney and Eddie show, the YouTubers that was on here as well too. They need a guest expert. You know, maybe someone like a me or like an Eddie or somebody off the street. Oh yeah, like me. Because here
we need you, Mama, on there. Yes.
I'm easily I laugh at lots of stuff. Lots of things are funny to me. However, I'm hard to convince because if it's not right, it's not right. So that's what they need. They shouldn't just choose people based off of, oh, well, they look like they could be a good match. It's not working. It hasn't worked in quite some time. And this season is a bust. It's a loss. They need to go ahead and take an L. They need to go ahead and say they took an L and be done with it.
I think they keep focusing on like the opposites attract thing. I feel like they need to get away from that. Like, oh, they look good on paper. I'm like, I mean, you keep on setting people up that's iffy about kids, and then you put them with somebody that really want a family. Like, you can't keep doing that. If they a little iffy about kids, don't put them with nobody that really want kids, because at the end of the day, they teeter-totter. You need somebody that's a solid yes. I want 2 twins and 2 cats and 2 dogs. I don't know. You need people like that. I mean, I feel like they just getting away from the therapy part. Like, why the experts just letting it go? They letting it go too far down to like for them to even like get it back to the, get it back to normal. It just be too far gone. Like he got a baby on the way now. Yeah, he was about to fight the whole crew. I'm like, I mean, it's too late.
But
how was he gonna come in and say that, Cal?
How some YouTubers be experts?
I think if we had a bunch of Austin and Jessica, a lot of people wouldn't watch as well. And I think they put that into consideration. And I see everybody say he used religion. I don't know if I feel that way. Only because I heard him speak on God in different interviews before Married at First Sight. That's the only reason. Like, so I know before he was on the show, he spoke of God a lot. And I guess that's one of the reasons they put them together. So I don't want to just assume because he talks about God, he's trying to use it against her. And at the end of the day, like I said, she's a grown woman. Even though to me she's young, she got to make the decision for herself if that's what she want to be. You can't be mad at somebody because you feel they're in a toxic relationship and they don't want to leave. Whether it's family or friend or whoever.
Well, I mean, I can see that's true to a point. But has anyone ever seen Married at First Sight Australia?
Oh gosh.
I couldn't get it to it. It was too boring.
Well, let me tell you about Married at First Sight Australia. I'm trying to find you, Chloe. No, I mean to take this off. Oh, hold on. I don't know what I just did. We're gonna get you up there, girl. Hold on.
I think I'm in.
Okay. But if you've seen Married at First Sight Australia,
it's Chloe. What up, though?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey, it's hard to get into, but they do the weddings, the reception, the honeymoon, all in the first show. But also, too, some people get to see a picture of possible mates and matches they want to be with. And they go based on that. So maybe if Married at First Sight, America gives people a choice like, okay, you like blondes, but you like this one, a choice of 3. Maybe it'll work out a little better, but they still have to have stuff in common. I don't know. Just talking out loud. Go ahead, Chloe.
I was just going to say that he definitely uses religion to reel Paige back in every chance he get. Every time she get ready to go, it's always God, it's always Jesus, it's always something. So I don't agree with the fact that he doesn't use it. He definitely used it. He used it when she first was he manipulated the whole situation at the table. Then he told her, oh, I wasn't doing right by God. I wasn't being a God-fearing man or all this, craziness. Then he went and then he, when she was ready to go, oh, I'm spiritually attracted to you. And she just ate it up and smiled like it was great. I'm sitting here confused, like, what is happening? Like, you just forgot you was mad 2 seconds ago? You just
Right.
forgot he said he was going to go be with the he could go be with the ex-girlfriend if he left here. Like, first of all, the things he say, he don't even think about it. How many times did he sit there and tell that girl he could go be with her if he want to?
Right.
Not only did he say he was thinking, they was thinking about it and talking about it, he basically told her he could go. And she just sat there and act like this conversation never happened. As soon as he said, I'm spiritually attracted to you. Because
Right.
he knows that she wants this so bad, because in her mind, God put her here. No, God is trying to remove you at this point, sis. You just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I agree. And
Downplaying
I
the
just
red
want to know
flag.
how many outs does she need to get before she decides to leave? Because
Girl, she don't want to be saved. Don't save her.
I saw your video. I
Right.
saw it.
I'm with
Don't steal
Chloe
my
on
line,
that.
Chloe.
Look, had to title the video that. Don't save her, okay?
Exactly. I'm starting to think that Chris might leave before she does.
Why is Chris still staying though?
Chris-
Like, what
Chris-
about?
Chris not gonna leave. Chris wants her to leave so he can collect the check still. Come on now. We already know what's
Right,
happening.
he got another baby coming in. That look, whatever he keeps saying, he make. I'll
But they
make
can
25.
still,
You only make 25% of what I make.
But he don't want to look like the bad guy.
How is this not looking like the bad guy? That
Because
always
look,
confuses me.
Because look, if she leaves, it's like I was still trying. I was still trying to work on it. So that way he won't look like he the one who abandoned the marriage. So he just won't leave, and she won't pick up on the signs that she needs to leave.
No, I feel you on that, but it's the Zachs and the Lukes and the Chris's. They do this thing to not pair as a bad person, but then here you are like stringing people along, looking like the bad person. Where we are clowning you on Twitter for a reason. And I've always wondered when people come on the shows, like, do you really think we're gonna view you as a great person by lying to Mindy's face in the case of other seasons, saying you want to be with her, but like here you are texting a friend, or even with Chris, like, come on now, son. Like, for me, Chris needs to bow out. Come on, you only met Paige 4 days ago. Why are you staying with her? Go figure out what your baby mama or the future or cousin of the ex-fiance allegedly. Who knows? But it just doesn't make any sense why they're staying so committed to 4 days. Some chick you just met. How strong is this bond? It ain't nothing.
Exactly.
Man, that's because they having a lot of sex and it's probably not protected. So it's
Oh my god.
She
They just uterus.
No, they don't use protection because Chris said he don't like to use any. So
Chris would have my whole life messed up. I keep saying
That was
I just want to be able to do it.
that was Paige that said that.
oh, Paige. Oh, okay, well, they're not using protection.
I'm starting to really feel that like I don't really feel sorry for Paige no more. I kind of feel like Chris is the type of dude she date. That's why her brother was like, here you go with the God-fearing man again. Now this your third God-fearing man. Like, that's all. You can't just keep on having the same requirement. Oh, he gotta want kids and fear God.
Right. Paige is following the same pattern that she mentioned about, being a stepmom. But my thing is, like I said in our how are you going to be a stepmom to somebody you don't even know? That's what I want to know.
Girl, how she gonna be a stepmom and she don't want him to put his kids first? She don't even understand the idea of parenting at this point.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. I don't get that. I don't get it.
I wouldn't want no man who put a woman before his own children, married or not married. Your children come before everything. That's how I look at it.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, no man comes before my kids as old as they are. Never.
Right, but you gotta think about it. The Bible says that, and that's perfectly fine when it's two parents in a household and y'all got your kids together. But when you got kids with somebody else, you can't just allow anyone come around your kids because they come first and you marry them and all that other stuff. That's different. So when you bring in someone from the outside, you got to really vet that person and know that they got the best intentions for your kids. So for him to say, oh, I'll put you before my wife and he just met her, before my child, you just met her. You don't know what her intentions are for your kids, because if she did something to your kids as your wife, you going to say that is right because she comes before your kids? Absolutely not. So no one comes before my kids, especially when it comes to their safety.
But you got to put that Bible verse on Paige to keep her there. What you got to do is flip it. So she can sit there and be like, oh my God, yes. God-fearing.
So I got a question. So we don't see Paige as a victim at all?
Not anymore.
No.
No.
No, not anymore. She agreeing to this.
Exactly.
I pity her.
She's right. Why you still see her as a victim?
I mean, I can see it a little bit because it kind of like she doesn't really know what to do. She doesn't have it out. She wasn't taught the ways to properly handle a situation like this. Mm-hmm. And she's getting manipulated by this man with the God stuff and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. To me, it's kind of like sad in a way. But at the same time, you're like, no.
No, because I just want to know how that's a victim.
Because she doesn't know the ways to get out.
Well, if she knew the way to come on Married at First Sight to sign up to be a wife, she know the way to get out.
Leave me alone.
Leave yourself.
I don't think she's a victim because he told her that he told her, he's literally telling her all of this stuff and she just don't want to accept it. Like at this point, it's just you just being dumb at this point.
I agree. I mean, so here's a question to everybody in the comments.
Okay.
Do we think that there should be an age minimum to be on the show? Because clearly things aren't working out. They're just not working. The majority aren't working out, the 20-somethings. And do we think it's okay if they have kids already, not have one on the way? If they have children because if you could, now that they have people who's on there that's divorced, why can't you already have a child? You know what I'm saying? So
they don't want the child because that's a different dynamic. Because my homegirl tried to do the DC. She tried to join DC and she has children. And they let her know when they was going through the process, when they called her back, that blending in children is another dynamic that they don't really want to do.
Okay.
But I don't think children should be
dynamic.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine Paige with a kid, or someone with a kid, or someone who doesn't say no with the children, or just any Katie or Zach and the child involved? Oh, I can't watch that.
I think when there's children involved, it has to be somebody like someone you grow into a relationship with, who their background, where they've been, like before you invite somebody into your house. You know what I mean? So I think that's why they keep children out of it, because it's too many different dynamics. You don't know these people from a can of paint, and as you can see, we only get what they tell us. So you don't know who you inviting into your house based off a TV show. So I think it's a lot when it comes to kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Adult children.
Yeah, they need to, I don't know, they need to raise it up to like 32, 33 and up.
And up, you think so?
I mean, Married at First Sight Australia has like an older couples, and they do actually have older couples and people with children, people who are queer. The children part, some of these tend to be like adult children. So it can, I don't know, Married at First Sight Australia is not a great example of it can work though.
Well, that's why I mentioned that Married at First Sight Australia does have children and different dynamics with that. So, and then to have adult children such as myself, you have to be of a particular age. So you would have to be at least 40 and up to have adult children, or late 30s, depending on when you had your kids, and up to have adult children. I'm just saying.
So Dr. Pepper also put in her post that she also understands why people might want us to not continue filming this couple. The reason we keep on is that we have seen similar train wrecks turn around. For example, Shawnee's and Jeffy.
Shawnee and Jeffy was nowhere like this. Jeffy was not being nasty and rude and starting fights and all that other stuff. He didn't have a love child on the way, none of that. Jeffy just was more laid back when it came to Shawnee's. He wasn't being like nowhere near Chris's.
Chloe, hold up. He's not nasty and rude to his wife. Who he was nasty and rude to was who deserved it. No different than when Brandon did it. Or when AJ got upset. Sometimes it's necessary to be upset, and it's okay.
But Cliff, you gotta understand, and I know you a man, so I know how this is about to go. But I don't care what happened in that situation and what was said to whoever, however, he should have never stepped to Virginia. Y'all can have whatever words you want to have to a distance, but when he walked up on her, you don't do that. He literally was walking up on her. That's disrespectful as hell. She's a woman. Period. So it was
Chloe,
disrespectful.
they were standing right next to each other.
Himself. No, he walked up on her because I saw it and I was like, oh no, that's not good. When the girls went over to Paige, they was talking to Paige. He still caught an attitude, caught a fit. You should have just walked away. You a man. They not even bothering with you no more. Why you going back over?
No. They talking to my wife. I am walking over there. They talking about me. He didn't walk up there. He didn't walk over there like he was gonna hit them or do anything like that. He walked over there because they was talking about his marriage.
You don't walk up on a woman. When a woman was having a conversation, he was already upset. He should have just walked away and let them have that conversation or whatever. He invited himself back into that conversation. Then he made a conscious decision to get on that van and cause more havoc because he said it. So he knew what he was doing.
Okay, and I'm cool with that. They husbands was right there as well.
Exactly, and that's what Eric ain't no good for that either. But at the same time, they were wrong and he was wrong. Just because he was wrong, just because they was wrong, don't mean he was right. Either way, they was all wrong.
I disagree with that. Like he walked over there because he walked over there when you're talking.
Why both parties can't be wrong in the situation? They should have left him
because
alone.
In this situation, you're right. It can. Listen, you're right. In a situation, two parties can be wrong. This just ain't one. That's how I feel. This just ain't one. They provoked it. They provoked it. They should have mind their business. So now when you get what you get, it is what it is. Who are they? They got their own problem. They got their own marriage.
They can return the same energy back though. And then it just becomes like a free-for-all yelling fest. You know, it doesn't, you know, for me, I can leave her close in the sense of in the beginning, it's not Virginia and Clara's place. Like, come on, what are you going to do with the baby? You're not her brother. You're not her family. And that should have been the end of it. It should be Paige support only. But when they went over to Paige to see how she was doing, and Chris, don't talk to her. You were her friend. Well, Sue, you barely her husband. Yes, you have more close to him, but you hardly treat her as your real true wife of 4 days or a week. And then you're gonna raw energy on the van. They're gonna give right back to you. You set it off. They set it off first. You set it off, and it's now a tennis match of like F you, F you, F you, F you. So it's just a sense of argument.
Yep, so that's exactly what it is.
It's just an unfortunate experience because it's like I want to enjoy this show so much, but I can't even revel in Virginia getting Chris pissed off because I'm petty in that. I don't like Chris whatsoever, but I can't agree that Virginia shouldn't have said anything. But it's just hard for me now to really enjoy the show because it's just like a bad. I really thought my last night said that's a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want to watch this.
Right. So I have another question, and L.E.L. Shut a little bit. I actually saw it in the comments somewhere. It said, "Do you all think that marriage counseling should be a requirement before they get married?" Now, of course, they're not going to be able to see each other. They could be like in the same room with a partition, you know what I'm saying, where they can't see each other. But do you think that it should now be that way going forward? Because to like this situation here, like they may know that they're not even matches and could go with the people who are matches to save all this drama and everything else that comes along with it. So do you agree with the counseling before the wedding?
I don't think it's going to work if they did.
You don't think so?
No, because they all still don't know each other. So when you go to counseling, like, you know, like regular, when you go to counseling before you get married, it's because you already know what you're getting with that person. You want to work out the kinks, right? You don't know. They still putting their best representative forward. So it's all going to be fluffs and pillows anyway. So the point of the counseling is to be able to work through the issues you have to be able to survive a marriage. They don't have no issues. So what they surviving? For premarital counseling, I should say.
Come on, Chloe, with the marriage word.
Okay. 3 years. 3 years.
3 years turned up. 6 months. 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely
Okay.
think it should be like personal counseling though on their own. Like I just can't imagine anyone not going to therapy. Because Woody was a great example of women. He said he had an anger issue, and then Monty asked him about it. He's like, I went to therapy for it, and I journal. I just wish like more people would take it upon themselves to go to therapy first for going on TV acting like a fool.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I wish, and I keep saying this literally every season that we've done this, and even before we came on the show, is that the experts really did their job of being experts, not just being someone to bet to put on the show, because Dr. Pepper is a sociologist. So she has a study of people, PhD, so she should know how people work. She should have already knew that Chris wasn't the one, but now if she has a PhD in sociology. Dr. Viviana is a sexologist or whatever. So, she could help with that. But then she also has a license in marriage and family therapy. So there she go right there. And Pastor Cal, honestly, you can throw him away if you ask me.
Oh
I'm
my
tired of him.
goodness.
Damn.
Not
Oh,
Pastor
Pastor
Cal,
Cal.
not Pastor.
Not Pastor Cal, right?
All the black folks are like, no.
That was
We need
that was breaking
That's
news
the face
even
I
for
see when I
me.
think of Married at First Sight.
no, we just need his wisdom.
We need his wisdom, but they gotta give it. They all have a lot to give. They just not doing it. That's the problem.
I'm
Pastor
here for
Cal,
Pastor Cal's expressions. I just like the looks that he
Right.
gives. Touch his glasses, like, oh, that's what I'm here for.
All right,
All
all
right,
he
so
got
I'm
to do
about
is
to jump out. I'm gonna jump out back into the chat. Bye, you guys.
Bye, Chloe.
Bye.
Thank you. So let's change it from Chris and Paige because we all know we could be here till next week till they come back on
Woo.
again. So I'll let you take it, Devontae. Who you want to talk about? Haley, Jacob, Brian?
we could do Haley. We could do Haley and Jacob.
Okay. First of all, did you see our review? Because I'm going to touch on something I reviewed. Did you watch it yet or no?
No, I didn't watch it yet because I seen y'all was going live, so I was like, I don't want to say the same thing twice.
Okay.
But I'm gonna still watch the review too, though.
That's fine. Well, the reason why, did you watch the show last night?
Yes.
Okay. So Cassandra said that she saw when Haley and Jacob were eating lunch, she saw a twinkle in her eye. And I'm like, there's no twinkle in her eye.
I didn't see a twinkle in her eye.
Elena says no.
Must have been a reflection of the light. I ain't see it either.
I was feeling really hopeful. She had that wine glass. She was staring at him. And I was like,
oh, that means she was tipsy. You seen that tipsy twinkle. That twinkle ain't real.
Exactly. I don't think that Haley has the connection for Jacob because we saw Jacob, many times with his shirt off and giving her the twinkle in the eye. But we haven't seen that from Haley. I think Haley just gave it a try just to say she did on her honeymoon. But that's about it. That's just me.
Well, I just thought about something in my head. Jacob just looked like an old bird. Just an old bird. Like when first of all, he was in there talking with his glasses, looking over his eyes, like, I just don't think you connecting with me. And, it was fine 2 days ago. He killing me. I don't know.
But you know what though? I never saw the connection, and I just think that Haley has already been checked out. I think she's trying, but she's checked out. And when she did that couples thing and didn't tell him, I was outdone. So I said, I thought in my mind, I didn't say it on a review. So Haley has pulled the Zach. She's Zach now, because Zach used to do whatever with his friends too and let Mindy know after the fact. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool.
Well, she didn't let him know at all. He just found out.
Well, that's true.
I mean,
she found out but that's not cool.
She shouldn't have did this.
She said, girls' night out. And he's like, all right, do your thing, girl. And it turns out it's a couple's thing. That would hurt my feeling. I felt bad for
That
Jacob.
was messed
as born
up.
as he is. I was like, that ain't right. And she packing her bags, me mugging him. I'm like, girl, what is all this?
Right. So I don't know how that's gonna work out.
You
But
already know how it's gonna work out. It's not gonna work out because even though the twinkle in her eye, I'm gonna keep saying that because I really did see it.
okay.
But ever since the wedding day, she wasn't here for it. She always kept coming up with like these excuses, and I was like, why are you on the show? I'm confused. Like, when you sign up and do this 100-page questionnaire, whatever.
Mhm.
You know what you're getting yourself into, getting vetted and all this stuff. So at any point of time, you could have backed out because you knew everything that was going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's like, I don't understand why she's wasting our time in screen space for something that's going to be boring.
Which is why you didn't see the twinkle in her eye.
Right.
Right or wrong, you didn't see the twinkle.
I think she ain't really gave him a chance. I think she just don't like him. And she like literally scrambling at this point. She just at the point. That's why she always on her phones with her friends all day. They just don't. I think the age gap is definitely, I think it's just two different waves. And he just stuck in his ways. And she trying to do certain things. It's just, I just
She
don't
needs to
see it
bow
for them no
out.
more.
I think
Yeah.
I think she needs to bow out. I think in the beginning she was doing an awkward smile on my camera. I like him. And then one
Every
day she's in
time.
Vegas. She drank her drink. She's like, no, neck down, maybe I can do this. And then build a little encouragement. And then slept with him. Something happened in the bedroom. Something apparently not great. And all of a
No,
sudden she's off
them
him.
green eggs and hams was not good.
But at the same time, it's like you shouldn't have slept with him when you weren't feeling him in the first place. Like that wasn't right. I'm like, is this another Chris, a woman? You know what I mean? Like I did to build a connection when you weren't feeling him from the
Right.
beginning. I get it. He ate onions. Ew.
Right. But you know what? But Jacob did surprise me, even though he comes across as boring. I mean, between him and Ryan, I'm not sure who's the most
Oh
boring.
my God.
Whew.
I have some spice in him. I want to see more of that come out.
But Jacob surprised me with the way he explained why he didn't appreciate the things that she did. You know, he was articulate about it. You know, he really was. He didn't keep it on the inside, nothing like that. He was like, well, you know, he explained it to her, and she had no response. She had no response. Surprised me with that because he didn't seem like he was a talker. Like Chris doesn't think. I don't think he's a talker either. Not Chris. Eric is a talker, but whoever. Ryan, that's who I'm trying to get at, is not a talker. But let's jump past boring Haley and Jacob. What do we think of Virginia and Eric the drunkard? What do we think about her?
Oh Lord. Eric was wasted. I was so
You guys
shocked.
hear me?
I was that
Yeah, we can
I got
slur
one
speech
question.
she was doing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, I wasn't sure you can hear me. My fault.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Haley and I always forget his name. With her
Jacob.
going to see the other couples without telling him. Yeah, Jacob, thank you. Without telling him. What do you feel the backlash is going to be with that as far as them two? Because that was really cold-blooded.
And the show did highlight it. It was at the end of the episode.
I think the backlash is really going to be when we see them go home because we know that Claire is going to move in with Ryan and Virginia is going to move in with Eric, but whose house are they going to? Like, how are they going to spend their time? I think the backlash might be the same as Mindy and Zach. Like, I'm only here a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Because she just seemed like she checked out and he really wants to be with her, but he was so disappointed that I don't know how it's going to go. The road is rocky already. So the experts need to come in for not just Chris and Paige, Haley and Jacob, and Eric and Virginia. That's my opinion on that.
Definitely with Eric and Virginia, because I'm going to keep bringing this up, Mom, because you gave her a maybe, and I don't see how you gave her a maybe of wanting to be married. Because everything that she does and she keeps saying, especially at this point in time, she clearly likes alcohol more than she wants to be married, in my opinion.
Okay. You said that like, she's sitting over there. The thing for me is, and I'm still standing by this, is because she's longing for the family. And I'm never going to come off that. She's longing for the family, just like Paige is longing for the family. Any way she can get it. Virginia is longing for it too. So I think that's the reason why she signed up for the show. But as far as her looks like her alleged alcohol problem, that is hindering her from moving forward and progressing with her life because she still is a party girl. She still likes to do the tailgate thing. She still said, regardless, she's going to keep drinking no matter what, everything. And that was very telling to me. She's refused to give up the things that she's doing as a single lady for the sake of her marriage. So once again, it revolves around of why did you sign up for it? Did you think you was going to be a frat boy to marry?
And I think it's the drinking that's really the emphasis that people are having, because it's not like when we hear Paige hang out with her friends, it just sounds like I go to the bar, I tailgate, I drink. It's not as if they're hanging out at a soccer game and just having fun, or rock climbing on a weekend. I don't think that's the issue. I think Virginia is the drinking. And for her, she's not seeing, now that you're married, or even if you're just in a long-term relationship, the scales to it. There's a balance. You know, you got to see your boo too, and your friends. You got to balance them. But she thinks there's no compromise, that it just stays the same, and Eric, it just pops up. I'm like, it don't work that way. Same thing with Eric. Eric too feels a little bit binding. Like he has a puzzle piece, wants to just fit her in. I'm like, yeah, Eric, you should know better. You can't just mold someone into what you want them to be. It got to be a give or take. And I don't see them giving or taking, but I don't think they're equipped to do so. That's where an expert comes in. So where they at?
That's the theme of the whole show.
Where they at?
Before our show started. What about you, Devontae? Or can you say?
No, I can hear y'all now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be muting myself every time I got to do something.
That's fine. That's fine. Do you have a comment?
Who is this again? We talking about again?
Virginia.
The drunkard.
Oh, Virginia.
The drunkard.
Yeah, they I don't really understand why she on this show. I feel like it was like a drunk bet, and like I bet you won't sign up. I bet you won't sign up, and I just feel like, you know, she actually got the call, and she like, well, free vacation to Vegas, it's coronavirus and everything. I feel like I'm not really mad at her drinking in Vegas, because I mean, if I was in Vegas, I'd be drunk the whole time too. That's what else you gonna do, especially if you don't live there. Like, that's what I'm coming to do.
Like, you trying to say that's what we do all day?
No. Like from my point of view, we coming from Cincinnati to Vegas. I'm coming to get drunk. I'm not coming there to see. I want to see the scenery a little bit, but I'm coming there to drink.
I understand. I know what you meant.
But I mean, I understand where Eric coming from. Like, it's different now. This is my wife. Like, it's okay to be drunk every now and then together, but if it's every day, you falling down the hallway, makeup all tore up, you know.
Not every day, guys. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come on.
But she married an old pilot. You can't be doing that with an old pilot. Now, if you was with somebody younger, you know, maybe somebody 29 or something, and he did, you know, and it looked like, what's his name? What's her husband name again? Eric is like he want a certain picture with his wife. Like, he don't want everybody to be like, oh yeah, that's the Eric. Here come his drunk wife. We know she got a cooler somewhere close. You know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Do you know, with him being a military, he can actually possibly lose his job based off of his wife and what goes in his household. I mean, there's certain standards you have to be in the military. You can't even have your lawn uncut living on the base if you're part of the military. Yeah, there's certain standards. I know, I'm a military brat. There's certain standards that you have to follow.
I don't care. I don't believe Eric is all this 100% conservative guy. He's scamming on the low. There's
okay, Chloe. I think Eric like her though. I think
you're drunk.
Got some chemistry.
I mean, Chloe was trying to hang with her this week, and he clearly couldn't.
Yeah, because he was dope. He was like, yeah. He was dozing.
I think they may have hit up one of our specialty shops downtown, because that would seem like it was a little bit more than alcohol, because he was out there.
It was some Fireball. They had some regular beers or whatever. He might be a little bit extra lit. You know, maybe got some smoke, some edibles or whatever.
That's what I'm talking about. The specialty shop.
He weren't doing nothing exciting.
Yeah. I could see her be like, let's go get an edible. Let's really have fun.
I mean, to be honest, it's almost on every corner. So I wouldn't doubt it. And it's 24/7. I wouldn't doubt it. I know they had a good time. I know they did.
I'm gonna be toe up with them. I'm gonna be
And
just
it's
like
legal.
Eric and them.
Just not on camera. I gotta do this off camera. You can't. I can't be filming at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna wait afterwards. But you know, Eric was just off the Henny, and I loved it. But I also felt a little unbecoming. I was like, oh no, drunk Eric, don't do this. But he's a grown
Yeah.
adult, and you know, he made
Mhm.
that decision.
I agree.
He was tore back, not even tore up.
He
I don't
was.
even say tore back.
No.
Just imagine the flight when he get on the mic. This is your pilot, Eric. Oh, for Married at First Sight.
Wait a minute.
Like, hold on.
Oh no, all the Eric pilots.
Right. And you know
How
the
you spell
pilots
your
greet
Eric?
you
How you spell that?
right after you land, they greet you. You're like, wait a minute, you flew this plane? Right. So I think that's going to be an issue. I do. I think that not just with his job, his career, but just her saying that she's going to be partying Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
What about the conservative values? Do you see that going to be a problem with his mom?
I think it's going to be a conservative with them because she mentioned like she's pro-choice and she didn't say what they were, but she said they're a Southern Baptist where they whatever, but I don't agree with the Southern Baptist thing. It just depends on what you actually believe. So clearly they must have had a conversation where Eric is not pro-choice, because if you all saw the episode, let's go back to the Doom Buggies and stuff like that. Or no, when the ladies were doing the little mixed tail cocktails, she was already talking to Clara about what Eric had said to hurt her feelings. You know what I'm saying? So they had already got into it already early in the day. So I just think that that's going to carry over because he don't want her drinking. He don't. And honestly, she's going to be a single mom when he's gone 15 days out the month. How is that a single mom if you married? He's working. That's not a single mom. So her maturity levels also questioned here as to what she believes to be true as adulting. Like she wants, as Dolores said, I don't know if she's still in our comment, a live-in boyfriend. That's what she wants. She don't want to be married. She want a live-in boyfriend with the perks, in my opinion. So, all right, y'all. Well,
sounds like Brett's wife.
Sound like who?
What was Brett's wife's name?
Olivia.
Yeah, kind of remind me of that.
Olivia
The only thing with her, she's young, and she's gonna have to grow, and he might have to wait for that.
But the question is, do you want to wait for it? If you're certain, because see, last week's episode, you know, he kept saying when they were in the pool, well, I know I'm at a certain point in my life. You know, I'm stable. I know that you're still living it up. He's ready now. She said she could wait a few years to have kids. In a few years, he's going to be 40. She's just going to be 30. You know what I'm saying? She may not want this lifestyle because Eric, I mean, maybe for the travel, but Eric is not going to want to be drinking and all the other stuff because technically, once he go back home, he can't. He's back on the clock.
I'm just confused because if I can't tell if Virginia is really 50-50 or if she's like not right now. Because I know at 25, I was like, hell no. But even here at age 30, I'm still 50-50. So I want more clarification on that. Because at that point, I'm like, why would she be in this program in the first place? You know, it feels like that's a hard hurdle to go over. But I do understand her sentiment about the children because I was like, shit, let me date Eric. You know, a pilot sounds nice. They're half the month. I don't have to see him. But then with the children, especially we have more and more of them, that is a lot after half a month. It's not consistently he's going to be like, you know, on this day, the next 15 days he's home. It's inconsistent, including the games, like, you know, and, you know, maybe you go in labor, he ain't there, he's in the sky flying, who knows? But I think that comes with perhaps the mom can add some guidance to that, Eric's mother. But that takes a lot of working with. But it's hard to work that out if in the end Virginia doesn't want kids. She has to figure that out. It's like a yes or no to the children altogether.
That's true, but if you're married to someone that's in the military, there's a good chance that they could be gone more than 15 days out the month, gone a whole year or two. So that's just something that you're going to have to deal with.
Hold on. Is he still currently in the military or is he just flying, you know, private jet?
He's flying airplanes in the military. He's in the military. He said he's in the Air Force. That's where they fly them.
I didn't think he was still currently in the Air Force.
All right. So what do we think about Brianna and Vincent? Is Brianna too bossy for Vincent because he had to shut it down.
Ooh,
Was that?
every time. I just knew what she was gonna be as soon as I seen it. Cause everybody, I ain't never heard bossy by the whole family.
Right.
Grandma, little kids, yeah, she bossy, yep. Everybody was coming out bossy. She was just Vince looked like the type guy that looked like, I'm gonna let it slide. All right. And then I feel like she set him up with that little question in the bed. Am I getting on your nerves? Now, you know, because even my wife does it. You know, women always ask you something they know the answer to, and then want to get offended when you answer it honestly. It's like, you was getting on my nerves. How was I getting on your nerves? So she, with the soap and everything, she just throw it in the trash for me, please. It's just like, all right, come on, he grown.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him to wash his face. His face ain't got no bumps on it or nothing. What is he cleaning? He got a clean face already.
That's partially his fault, though.
Yeah, because I mean, he gonna have to.
He was when she was saying she was bossy. He was like, okay, yeah, you the boss. So he made her feel like it's okay. So this is what you get.
But I'm wondering if Vincent's not being honest on camera, because in that scene when she's in the bed all booed up, she's like, do you find me annoying? And he's like, no, I don't. But then the next day we heard they had a conversation about it. So I'm a little I wonder if he's reserved on camera to tell her that up front versus, hiding behind closed doors. But I do have hope for Brianna and Vincent, because at least she's aware of the issue. Once you're aware of it, I think you're able to work on it. And I hope she doesn't push back on it. But I also need to realize that it's going to take some time. Like, I don't think it's going to be like an 8-week, I'm done. You've been bossy your whole life. How do you expect to change in 8 weeks? Yeah. But as long as it's consistent work, and at least some efforts to try, I think they can work it out in the long term.
Mm-hmm. I know it was annoying because she was like, I didn't know I was that bossy. Like,
girl,
she put in the whole vows for you and said you was bossy.
Like, so your whole family lying?
All of a sudden you're not bossy? No, but I was actually surprised that Vincent, I popped off on her. I want to see it, because I don't think he gets that angry like his family try to claim, even though his family does know him better. But I don't think so. I just don't. You just be quiet.
Cassandra, you just so nice. You just so nice. You just don't.
Because I like
champagne. Her to fly.
I do. I like champagne too. I don't even think Brianna and Vincent are that compatible. And I'm just say it like that.
Damn, you trying to get with Vincent?
Yeah, she is.
I'm trying to
Are you like bald head with a beard?
He's a handsome guy, I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna say this. I think Brianna is bossy, but like in any relationship, normally the woman is bossy to a certain extent. I think that it's just gonna be the way he handles her, and how once she learns how she's doing it, she just has to redirect it a different way. So like, instead of me telling my husband, oh, the trash gotta go out, I'm like, babe, you took the trash out today? I think it's just, you just got to learn how to reword it and redirect your bossiness so it don't come off like nagging. So I think once she figures that out, it's going to be perfectly fine, because women by nature like to just take charge and get things done. And that's going to be fine for them. That's not nothing new. Women been bossy from the beginning of the time. So this ain't nothing new.
Chloe, you know what that's called? Marriage counseling.
Hey.
I agree.
That sounds like marriage counseling, because when I went, we had to go for that exact thing. Like, it's not what she say, it's how she say it.
Yeah, you gotta you gotta just learn how to redirect what you're trying to get across a different way, so a man don't feel like you trying to run over him. And that's just coming from a woman. So I think once she figured how to do it, she'll be all right. She'll still be bossy, but then
that's what I was gonna say.
Hello.
I agree with Chloe. Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Hey,
say
hi.
I was gonna say that she has to learn the art of finesse, and let me tell you how I learned it. It was becoming a mom, and I have a son, And funny thing is, it wasn't in relationship, because I used to be told that I was bossy as well. Like, not really like bossy, like directing people, but because in my career, I have to be assertive. I'm in a very male dominant career. So usually during work, I am very much like A, B, C, and D. That's because that's how men are. And so in order to kind of be in that playing field with them, I had to be as direct as possible. Only thing is, it doesn't really translate into a romantic relationship. And I didn't know that. And I'm the only girl in my family outside of my mother. So I'm dealing with male energy all the time. I've been told, like, you have a lot of male energy. So now that I'm a mom and my son is going on 7 now, I learned that there's an art of finesse to getting getting somebody to do what you need them to do. And even with my son, like, I know sometimes when I'm kind of too naggy with it, because even though he's, a small child, he can say, like, Mom, that I'm gonna do it, or okay, Mom, like it's too much. So, I hope that Brianna understands that it's not cute. Like, she may think it's banter, but that's quite annoying. Like, I was sitting there like, girl, he dropped the soap. Get over it. Like, if he don't want to wash his face, he doesn't have to wash his face, girl. Like, you could have turned that into a little cute thing, like, hey, babe, and just put the face wash on there. He doesn't know that you scrubbing his face, but you could have turned it into a little cute, little romantic type of interaction where you are taking charge, like Chloe is saying, but you're not doing it in a way that kind of like emasculates him, because Vince was over it. He was like, wait till these cameras leave. I'm gonna let her know that she's doing the most.
Now his upper cheeks was starting to turn pink. I was like, oh, it's building up.
He was about to blow up. He was about to blow up. He said it.
Yeah, because she was talking to like a kid. You know how you teach kids how to do things? Like, all right, now put it here, then put it in the trash, and then do this. And it's like, he's, what, 30 or something? Like,
right.
come
I'm just
on.
waiting for her to say, yay!
Right, go ahead and take it for me. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did that. Great
High
job.
five, right?
No.
Yeah. Well,
Big goldfish today. Look at you.
Well, we'll see how also that plays out, because I think there's going to be lots more moments like that, because I agree with Elena that you just don't pull back your bossiness, because, I have to say this about myself.
Go ahead.
I mean, my mom has been calling me bossy. She's told both my son, my daughter, that I've been bossy since I was 2 years old. And she stands firm on that. But again, I was the only girl in the family too at the time. So, I think that was a spoiled issue. So I blame them. They allowed me to be bossy. But sometimes it does affect your personality, because sometimes even my kids, even Cassandra, even when we're filming, be like, Mom. I'm like, no, we're going to say this or no. So you do have to learn how to do back with that. But when you're in a relationship with a man, that's different. Now, I think when I'm in a relationship with a man, I hope I allow the man to lead, but I know that eventually the personality of me, there is some bossy moments that come out. So, but I'm a little older than Brianna too, and a lot more mature. So I know, how to work things out. But she was just with it like, well, you dropped the soap. I was like, girl, because when he did that, clearing the throat, looked at her with that look like you give like, I know she's not talking to me. I was like, it's going down, but I thought we was going to see it on camera. But that's the difference of that. So,
can I say one thing about Virginia that I wanted to say, but I couldn't get the hand time? I think that Virginia might change, but I think it's going to be children that changes her. So I think when she has her child, or whenever she gets pregnant, she'll make the change on her own. Because a lot of women who like to party and stuff like that, usually, children help them settle down. So I think she'll be okay as long as she get pregnant soon. Like real soon.
Oh, no.
No, I'm saying, 'cause I was just like that. Not like, well, I was out here. I wanted to, drink and party and everything. But I got pregnant at 23, 22, had my daughter at 23. So it was one of those things that, like, once you have kids, you just drink your wine at home now. You don't go out to the clubs and party and stuff like that. So I think she might, develop that maturity when she has more responsibility.
Okay. Let me pop this question up from Romel. Let's have the panel, everyone on the panel answer question.
Am I the one who didn't like this honeymoon? Why Vegas?
And he says, why Vegas? Don't clown our city like that. You know it's the pandemic.
The pandemic.
Right.
So I didn't care for this honeymoon personally. I'm not caring how things are working out so far with some of the couples. I'm hoping some will turn the tide, but we'll see. What about you, Devontae, or Cassandra?
Go ahead.
I don't dislike the honeymoon. I mean, they in Vegas. I mean, I really wish they would like show it off a little bit more. It don't really look like they doing anything.
Nothing was open.
Oh, for real? Oh, my bad.
No.
Okay. Oh, well, never mind. Well, I mean, how can you not like? I mean, I can't.
But quick story: the Mandalay Bay is at the very end of the strip, right? Mm-hmm. So the Mandalay Bay, downstairs, around the corner, you got the Shark Reef, and that's usually where the kids go for the school trips. And then those who saw the Mirage Dolphin Show, that's about 5 minutes down the same block. And then the Bellagio is 2 minutes down the same block. So there was really nothing to do. I mean, we've been in the house since February of last year. There's nothing to do.
I don't think that Vegas had anything to do with the honeymoon because, like, we seen episodes where they do like the rose petals in the bathroom and they make it romantic and stuff like that. If they wanted romantic, like romance or whatever, you know, that vibe, a honeymoon vibe, they could have had it. None of them had that. Like, think about all the seasons where we get like the, you know, the rose petals and the champagne and the bubble baths. None of them chose to do that for their wives, their husbands. They just not the same. They not the same as the other couples.
Yeah,
I don't think it was Vegas itself. I think it's the people, because you can put fun people anywhere and they can turn it up and have a good time. It's just that these couples were just mismatched and just ill-equipped altogether. And if you put ill-equipped people in Hawaii, they still would have turned it into a sour fest. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe it was the pandemic. I believe it was the pandemic and them not being able to go out and really do a lot of things. Even when you see, they actually showed Montrey on TV. You've been wondering who it was.
Yeah.
Talking to Chris, you know, they had their mask on. So I think that stopped them from doing and going out and doing the extra things. Maybe they couldn't go get the flowers or go out and do this without quarantining. That's, you know what I'm saying? So I think the pandemic was more of an issue than anything.
Well, there's flowers in the hotel, you know. I'm just saying. Everything you want,
but
liquor.
You don't need flowers to be romantic. They could have been romantic. They could have, you know, they not bond. I don't see a lot of bonding. That's the thing. It's like everybody's apparently doing it, but like usually we see it coming. We don't even see none of this coming. Everybody's just having sex and we like, how, when, where? Like, you don't see no affection, no attraction, no nothing, but somehow everybody is out here just having sex. It's weird.
Right. Jacob and Haley threw me off. I'm like, hold on. Where?
Yeah, it did. It's just hard to even explain Jacob and Haley now. But let's touch on Ryan.
Before we touch on Ryan, Claire, I just want to speak on what Chloe said earlier about, because I guess I'm just not a Virginia fan like that, because I just don't see Virginia settling down, even if she does get pregnant, because I know people who have kids and settle down, and then I know people who have kids and they want to go out with me every night, and I can't do that because of my job. So I don't think Virginia is going to change, kids or no kids. I don't know, anytime soon.
All right, maybe after she have a couple kids, but not one. One ain't gonna stop that show. She gonna need about some triplets.
Yeah, I just said in the chat that I'm afraid if she gets pregnant because she may react like adversely. I'm
telling y'all, I was that
stable.
Way.
No,
I was
Chloe,
the drunk girl.
I can't believe you was like Virginia.
I was the drunk. I'm the drunk girl.
But you had Mr. Johnson to save you.
I think I made him like Eric. He tell me all the time, "You ruined my life. You ruined my life."
No.
We don't believe that, but I believe
Mm-mm.
because again, it could go either way. You either settle down or you keep doing what you know. So it just worked out for you. Chloe.
I think Eric has a little bit more spunk in him than that.
She thinks Eric has a little bit more spunk. Where is it?
It's there.
I'm with her on that. He like a, I don't know, like a closet partier. Like, look, hey, when I get turned up, cut the.
But he said
fly
that.
the plane.
He said he used to party
They
hard.
cannot see me standing on the tub with the.
He said he used to party hard, so he just, revisiting it, I guess.
I don't know. I think he's a lightweight too, but then again, they did have hard liquor plus beer they was mixing, so.
He's not a lightweight. He just can't hang with Virginia because he was holding on for a long time. He just can't hang with her because she was still ready to go.
Right, he a regular drinker. That's a Viking. He
was ready to go to sleep. He's like the people when you get drunk, you're ready to go to sleep. Virginia was still trying to take shots.
Right. You're right. You're right about that. So what do we think about Ryan and Clara?
Does he like her? I can't tell.
Ryan doesn't like
honestly,
her.
I don't know. I can't tell with Ryan because he's so private with his emotions with everyone, including the producers, and with Clara, it seems that it's hard to tell if he actually likes her. I feel like he's soaking the moment of deserving it, but at one point, it's just hard to read him. And then with Clara, I think because she's so used to being in love, she's like, everything's great. We're on the same page. Everything's cool. But then she gets nervous about the fact that he has to say the L word. But I hope she doesn't harp too much on because, let him fall in love. You can't force it on him. But at the end of the day, I just can't tell. Like, do you like her?
I'm 50-50 with them. I don't think he cares for her. Well, I've said from the very beginning, he doesn't like the fact that she's a talker. The way she talks too much. I saw that from the beginning. She talks too much. He don't like that. He's too structured and too organized and too set in his ways to have someone like constantly be like, so you like this? You like that? You want to go? He don't like that. So I'm unsure about that. And also I've seen in comments before that some don't think that Ryan is necessarily living his truth about what type of woman he really wants to be with. I've seen that.
He wants to be with a white woman. That's his truth.
Okay.
He want his white woman.
that slick back killing me. Every time.
That's that iron and then slick back. Because you see his beard. So if his beard is like that, you can't slick that back either.
So you try you think he got naps? Oh, he's slicking them naps down. Yeah, you ain't fooling me. Yeah.
And that's on Gorilla Glue.
Not his type of woman.
Gorilla Glue. It's the same way every episode.
Was anyone else shocked that Ryan politely told his wife to shut up?
No.
I was. I ain't see him having that type of energy.
Oh no, he definitely. I think I saw it. The way he did it was so him. It was so him, and he did it in a way where it wasn't offensive. So she was receptive. She received it well. I think that was just him. I think that she's not the type of woman he wants. I think he wants more of a. I don't want to make it sound like a stereotype, but more of a a little dipsy, a little more,
He need oh my god.
Yeah, he wants a real. I don't want to say it like that, but he wants, he wants what he wants. But she's not the type of white girl he wants. I'ma just say it like that. I just think that she's too much. She's too much for him.
So should he have been matched with Haley then?
No. Haley's too mean for him.
No.
He needs someone who he can kind of control in a sense, because that might be why he liked those type of women to a certain regard. I'm not trying to say like that's the thing, but I think he needs someone who he can control a little bit, and she's not here for the controlling part.
You know who would have been perfect? That girl that was with that one guy. I can't think what his name is. What's his name? Luke. That had Oh,
Kate.
yeah,
He wants a Kate.
that would have been perfect.
I don't know. Because
Kate wasn't saying nothing. She
But
didn't say.
imagine Kate and Virginia. They was both drinking.
yeah, that was her thing. Remember, she was a drinker too.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
She wasn't no drinker. She was just at home chilling.
Oh,
Okay,
it was
Chloe.
Luke. It was Luke.
Chloe, you make me question your drinking habits.
She was at home chilling. It was him who was out there living a double life with his friends, quote unquote.
Right. He was living a double life, but
and that's why she was at home drinking, because she didn't know what was going on. She was going through it.
Okay.
Well, someone said Amber could be a good match for him. I can see Amber and Ryan. I feel like she might be a little clingy, but I can see it. Amber, remember
Amber with Matt.
Yeah, the basketball was
yeah,
playing.
that would have been a perfect little preppy little. Yeah,
I see more of a Mindy.
Mindy, I don't
know.
No.
Oh no,
Mindy
not
wasn't
the
clean enough for him.
Mindy was amazing.
Mindy was not. I don't know if I can see her with Clara, but they both athletic though, so they can probably work out together.
No, Mindy didn't keep herself up enough.
They're saying Paige.
Okay, good point.
Paige and Claire's body.
Paige and Claire's body.
Yeah, that's what everyone in the chat is saying, that he wants a Paige type of mindset, but obviously Claire is all of Clara with Paige.
I think black girls just don't like him. Like, I think he would be open to a black, maybe a black girl that's talk a little, that can articulate and don't do this none of the slang. Like somebody like reserved that's kind of like been on both sides of the fence, like went to an all-white school. Like he might need one of those, because he definitely won't be able to handle that. I don't know who you talking to. Like, nah, he don't
want look, when he asked her, he said, do you date a certain type of guy? He was trying to figure out, do she date black men? That's all. He knew what he's just trying to figure out, like, what's going on. Like, is this
I think this her first black man though.
You think so?
No, it's not.
I think this might be the first one. Like,
she dated all races.
I don't think this is the first one she had sex with. I'm talking about like dated.
Well, married?
Nah.
She ain't brought Tyrone to.
Yeah, she definitely
was a brother on the airline who saw Clara and was like, "Hey, let's do it."
I thought she wanted more of a more black man, because he seems less, not like, I don't want to make it seem like we, black people a certain type of way versus white people, but like more of the culture of black. I feel like she wanted more of a culture of the black, and he's not the culture.
Well, she stated that her exes look like the United Nations if they were standing there. So
that don't mean she had a black dude though.
Right. I mean, she is a flight attendant. She's probably, her taste buds is different because she meets different men. But I feel like Ryan wants somebody who minds their business in essence. But he don't want nobody who wants a mess. He wants quiet. He wants, someone like his mother who just stands in line with him and we just be ourselves and do the same thing over again. And so Claire is just too vibrant for that. And, I don't think not to say that it's impossible to work out, but I don't know how they're going to work out those issues. I'm still confused.
Ryan, for me, like, he doesn't talk much, so I can't say that I would date him because I don't know what his mindset is really like. Mm-hmm. And he would have to lose the hair. Like, that's a no for me. His mannerisms, we could get like maybe one date two or whatever, but he needs to talk more. The jury is still out on that because he doesn't say much, so you don't really know really how he thinks. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they all give kind of like interview-based answers when they're doing their confessionals. Everyone wants to appear a certain way, right, across the camera, but like his interactions with Clara, maybe she just doesn't give him room to talk, or they've edited out all the points where he is actually conversing with her, but I need more feedback from him. He just kind of like sit there, nods his head, and makes these, facial expressions like, like he's always thinking and processing.
I think Ryan's trying to figure out, since he's someone, where is this actually going? Because I think that Ryan and Claire have the most in-depth conversations because they talk about kids. I mean, they want for the future. They talk about religion. You know, she talks about, you know, she's not into organized religion, stuff like that. So I think that even back to the prayer over the food with his parents, I think that all that's going to be an issue. And I think he's trying to decide, like, if she's the one, and if she's the one, I'm going to say, I love you too. But again, we haven't seen him talk a lot. So I don't think that, like, say, like you said, yes or no right now. But he just comes across boring, structured, and we just need to see more. So hopefully when they come back, maybe we can see his friends and maybe his brother, because I know you're looking forward to that. Personality about what's up with Ryan. We don't know anything.
Well, he said he learned a lot more when he's quiet. He learned a lot more by observing. So right now, he's in that stage where he's trying to figure it out. I think that at the table, when he saw that it was it was trying to go sideways and he tried to like clean it up before it got there, he knows what he's doing. He saw it coming. So he's just observing and he's just trying to figure it out. I think that he likes Clara, but I think he's trying to figure out if she's for him.
Right.
I don't think he likes her.
Practical.
I think he likes
a practical person.
I think he's attracted to her. I think he likes her. I think he's just trying to figure out if she's someone he can tolerate for the rest of his life, because that's all marriage comes down to at a certain extent. Once you love someone, you have to realize if you can tolerate them. So I think he's trying to realize, like, am I going to be able to tolerate this girl rambling all the time? She's a nice girl. She seems sweet, but like she got some things that I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with for too long.
Do you think maybe Ryan is a little bit too analytical?
No.
Like maybe he's always just thinking and being very logical and analytical about these relationships when, in a sense, sometimes love carries a little bit of irrationality to it. The thing about when you get a crush, sometimes you get a crush and somebody like, I don't know why, something about me I was like. But perhaps Ryan, in terms of looking for a partner, it's very like, you know, ones and zeros. It's got to fall into place. And so it's like a part of him that kind of doesn't fully let go, which could be a reason why he did an L word in his past relationships. I mean, I'm definitely like rambling over this man I've seen like a few times on TV, but there's something about him feel like he holds back a bit, but it could be the cameras. You never know.
I don't know. I think if anything gives you a great pause, because I'm a very analytical person too. If there's something underlying that's really disturbing you, and I'm only going to go to the spiritual or religious realm just because his family and he appears to be very religious, I think that it's something unsettling in his spirit that he is really trying to put a finger on. And I can speak to this because I just recently went through that, where I felt like I don't want to say my intuition. I would call it what I called it. I said the Holy Spirit was trying to tell me something and I could not leave it alone. And it was my analytical process that I really realized what it was. And then I had to walk away from the situation, like shut it down really, because it wasn't a situation yet.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's probably not sitting right with him and he's trying to figure it out.
I feel like he's studying her. Like he like, okay, I'm gonna see what this for. But he definitely told a big lie. He told a hell of a lie, talking about he was the class clown. Where?
Right.
What school was that? If you the class clown,
he didn't make not one joke yet. Not even a Coney.
Like, imagine him busting out laugh like, "Look, guys, like no, that's not the class."
You also gotta remember he's not in an environment where he's totally comfortable.
Yeah, because everything around him is going crazy.
He's not really in an environment where he's totally comfortable.
And the cameras, you act different. The cameras, like, you know, it's one thing to be by yourself, you know, with this girl. Another thing to have like the guy with the boom mic and over you and the Montre in the corner. Like, you know, sometimes you feel like you might have to perform or you shut down.
Right.
Why are you signing for a TV show?
What I will say I like about Ryan, since you guys do bring up he is analytical and he does see something. So with Clara, he did shut her talking down. He did let her know, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this. So he expressed his feelings, and now it's up to Clara. Is she gonna take it, or is she gonna take it with a grain of salt and not
grain of salt?
Grain of salt.
Didn't she get a little offended or something? Like, he's trying to control
Yeah,
me.
she was upset.
Yeah, she did not like that.
Yeah, my wife said she looks like Quagmire's dad mom. I was hollering.
Yo, your wife is wild for that.
Then Latina said, "Class
The chess club.
He's sitting there talking about, guys, checkmate. No.
That was so funny. Oh yeah. I don't know. So what do we think is gonna happen when they come home? Like, who do they think
is on that phone."
Yeah, who's on the phone with Chris? Anybody have an idea?
The baby mama.
The baby mama.
I mean, that's not hard to figure out. That's why she said, "You go be with that B."
Yeah, that's the baby mama.
I'm just asking. Don't you? We just
Because the Paige would have been dead there when she came back in that room when he said, I'm still thinking about where we talked about maybe getting back together. Because I just thought she was gonna snap when she got them jeans.
Man, Chris was texting that girl while she was outside in the hallway being sad.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting on the bed chilling, texting her like she over here being extra.
Right.
I feel like this was a scheme with them too.
I'm trying to get her to
I feel like it's
leave.
about
She
to be a
just
big
gonna
scandal came out. They done fooled us all. The baby mama's like, go in there and get that check.
I know bitter baby mama when I hear it. That ain't no setup. She tight. She tight.
I mean, but
But
if
the
she
baby
bitter,
not
I'll
even
give her a
here
pass.
yet for her to be a bitter baby mom. She just a pregnant woman who probably feels duped. Like
exactly.
I was just humping on you, my dude.
If y'all not together.
No. Because she didn't even know that he got married. Could you
Exactly.
imagine you was just engaged to somebody 3 months ago and then you call them to tell them you having a baby and they done got married on you? You
and not only is she married, she got
I wouldn't be
got
happy
married
about it, but we also not together.
Oh no, I'm wilding out. Pregnant at all.
Yeah. You felt comfortable enough to have sex with me unprotected. Clearly, we probably been getting down unprotected. You shot the club up, and now you going to walk down the aisle like 2 weeks or whatever, however long it was afterwards. Like, I mean, then what was I? What was that when you came over to console me after my father passed? Like, you gotta think about the other person's shoes. Cliff, come on. Everybody's not your situation. You don't know what terms they left off on. They could have been
what I'm saying is
considering getting back together. You don't know. And I don't think she probably would have kept the baby. I mean, I don't want to speak for somebody's body. It's just a lot of unknowns there, right? And I can imagine being at home in Atlanta and then the man you just laid down with is in Vegas with his new wife and you had no idea that this was even a thought. Like, that is enough to rock somebody's world.
Yeah.
I get Ellie. What I'm saying is they broke up.
It's not even 2 months.
I get that, but what I'm saying is they broke up. I understand people will get back with the ex and sleep with them. But you can't hold nobody to a certain standard if y'all not together. Listen, I'm not saying I will personally be happy with it, finding out, hey, my ex turned right around and got married. But what I'm saying is he have a right to move on. They broke up for a reason. And I'm going off of his words about him saying, hey, they met up that time. It happened at one time and then it was a wrap. I'm just going off of what he said.
Well, he was engaged 3 months before. She's 6 months. She's 6 weeks pregnant. That's less than 2 months. So it wasn't that much time either way.
Yeah, he's just an unfinished business kind of person. Like, he just goes from situation to situation, kind of.
And he know he can do it. That's why he said I could go back to her whenever I want.
I agree with that.
Go be with her.
Mm-hmm. But here's my thing with that. So the way Chris's family is, how tight knit they seem to be, especially from that wedding.
Everybody needs to get cussed out. I just have to say that. It's ridiculous.
Especially from the wedding. I think that the ex probably already knew that he was married on the show. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
probably from the mom.
It couldn't have been a secret. I mean, it's a production. It's a production crew came to your town, to wherever you got married at. I mean, you were just engaged, which means someone in that family probably still talks to you, maybe a cousin or whatever. that weren't no secret. So I think that, things got out of hand. Maybe they were still whatever. Because remember, I still go back to that cover up that he just got like a few days before that wedding. And then now on the honeymoon that you only been on for a night, you find out she's pregnant. I mean, come on now. None of that add up. None of it adds up. So that's just
Yeah. Do you think his parents? I think his mom knew.
Of course.
The mom and the auntie.
I didn't trust the mom from when I saw her at the wedding day. People were like, well, the mom was trying to warn Paige. I was like, no, mom is with it too because she's still with her husband and she knows how her husband gets down. So I don't believe anything that mom said.
So who y'all think?
That's not her husband.
He called her because he said they was blocked, right? So how they get in touch with each other? You think it was the parents, the friends, the cousins?
Yeah.
I mean, just because you have someone blocked on your phone, your email,
She probably found him on Instagram and hit him up.
He said he got a phone call.
Just call from a different number or call block. Or block your number and call. That's easy.
You know they toxic.
Yeah. Yeah, very toxic. Yeah. So I just can't wait for them to come home. I just want to know how the plane ride from Vegas to ATL went, since he was still on one, especially with Eric and Virginia, since how that still kind of went down.
They separated their flights.
Yeah, I hope so.
And how it's going to be, and who is going to be the first expert to come talk to everybody?
Dr. Pepper. Wow. They go. They gonna say that one is weak. I don't like the what's the Viviana?
Yeah.
I don't know. We need Pastor Cal
Love
might
Dr.
be here, but I mean,
Pastor Cal don't do nothing.
Who's gonna keep it real the most? Which one of the three is gonna keep it real?
None.
I think Pastor Cal's expression will keep it real. I don't know if his words will keep it real.
Pastor Cal, yeah.
You know what they need to do? They need to hire Ayanna Van Sant.
Shut
this show down.
She gonna
Dr. Cal to me only keep it real with the men, not the
I
women.
think Dr. Pepper do it though.
Huh?
You might be right, Chloe.
Dr. Pepper always Dr. Pepper try to give it to them as real as possible without sugarcoating it as much as possible. I think it's gonna be Dr. Pepper.
First one? Yeah. I'm just curious to know what advice they're gonna give from jump. I'm looking forward to that. So
I mean, will they be forthcoming? That's the other part. Like, how much of the truth will they say in that one session? Is it going to be a group session? Are they going to sit down? What will Paige say in full details? But
oh no, they snitching.
Mika's mom.
I want to see how messy Clara's house is, or place, or whoever she lives with. When they go by and like people. They go and pick up stuff.
He got all this money. I got to
yes.
I want to see Chris's house. I
got to see this house. He better have a 65-inch TV. Everything better be brand new because he got money. He got so much money. So even though he was sitting there with that Hollister shirt, he had that Hollister shirt. I was like, don't nobody wear Hollister no more.
And wasn't it wrinkled in night two? That was wrinkled. We had the shorts and the shirt on. I'm like, he wrinkled? So for someone to be flashy, why you wrinkled? I expect you to be flashy at all times. But that's just me.
Someone said Airbnb.
And you know where he got that chain from? GLD. He got that chain from GLD, $235. He not fooling me.
We gonna find out.
Now he gonna tell her he don't want to bring her to his house because he's scared she after him for his money.
Child.
He gonna be like, I forgot my key code. I got
too much stuff in my house to be bringing the cameras here.
Oh no!
He gonna be like,
his excuse is gonna be that.
Then y'all wonder why he gonna sue everybody. Y'all wrong.
No, did he just settle on? I mean, did he just go into settlement on his house? So, because I thought he said did they close? I don't know if he went into closing yet.
No, he said he was about to close, so he ain't got no house. They ain't going nowhere. They're gonna be right in the car like Christina.
Right.
Not the car.
Damn, shots fired, Chloe.
No, ma'am.
I gotta see. I don't know though. Or you have live Airbnb. Watch.
I wouldn't doubt it. but I'm looking forward to all that stuff. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna wrap this up.
Joint bank account.
Bank account. Put that
right
up there.
here. Right here.
Oh, wait, before we go, what do you think about the bank account? Who's with it and who's not?
I think it's a little too early for
I've
a
seen
page.
both ways with married couples. So
I've been married for 6 months. We still ain't did that yet, but I mean, we know what we doing. But I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. I think that come down the line. Like when you first get married, you don't joint bank account. I think that come over time. Like, all right, man, your wife will sit you down, and then eventually y'all get to that point. But I don't think it's something you do like off rip.
I mean, I think it's just I think it's your dynamic. You just got to figure it out. Like me and my husband, his money is my money is his money. If I need money, I take money. If not, we got a joint account. We still have our separate accounts, but I already know what's in his. He know what's in mine. If we need extra money, we just reach into you take my car, I take your car. Like, if you make it about money, then that's why marriages fail. If everything that you bring into your house is for y'all, why should it even be, a big deal? I feel like as long as the bills is paid, the food is on the table, why does it matter who's splitting the bill? Like, if you doing it that much, then you don't need to be married.
Yeah, and I thought she meant like, hey, we just get a joint account that we kind of put money into it for the bills, but you still have your own and I have mine. I didn't think she meant like close out your current account and then send all of your checks over to this joint account. He read that completely wrong and he overreacted.
Yeah, I think that's just showed that he wasn't really mature because he just a joint account. I'm like, dude, you get married, you give her your last name, but you can't share no money, but because you got all the money.
I can look at it like this. My mother and her husband been married for years. They got separate accounts. My father and my stepmother been married for years. They got a separate account. My father just he pay all the bills. He tell her to just take care of her credit card bill, and they do whatever with the rest of their money. But they have separate accounts.
Okay,
that's why it's different strokes for different folks.
But that raises the question, right? So all the bills is paid with the joint account, right? So if I ain't got no money, if my money is going, you make more than me, and I put my money in or whatever, and then I say I gotta ask you for $20, I gotta ask you for this, like, no, like, let me see your card, I need to go do this. Like, I don't understand. That's the only thing about the money situation that gets me, and maybe it's because me and my husband don't make like thousands and thousands of dollars, so it's not a big deal. But I feel like it's still going to your house, it's going to your family, it's going to your children, it's going to whatever, it's going to whatever. Why does it matter if it's separate or together if you're using it for your family?
Right. That's true. I agree with that. But did I hear on your chat, Chloe, or did you say this, or one of your companies said like maybe he doesn't want a joint account because maybe he's not making the money he really says he is? Was that
girl? They say he out here lying or whatever.
Right.
Come on, man.
I'm not gonna say that. Some people believe their money is their money.
I think it's too premature for Paige to be asking about the joint account. It's like, can you ask about the baby mother? Because Chris had a point for a certain point, and he's like, you ask me about nothing, although he should say something too. But I just think there's more pressing matters to kind of deal with your dynamic with the future baby before the finances comes up. But when it comes to the finances overall, I think there should be 100% transparency. Like, even if it's separate, I don't want him to come across like he gotta like hide how much he got so Paige doesn't feel like she's gonna steal his money. So I hope he doesn't give her that vibe. I don't have high hopes for Chris, to be honest. But with any couple, there should be transparency with the money. Why are you hiding it? Like, this is our house. Like, in the sense of Chloe, I agree. It's your household. Like, why are you hiding $50 to the side? There's no need for that.
Well, it's just like chatting up mentions like the problem with splitting the money Paige received from her family. But even from the wedding, he's like, well, we're going to split that 50-50. I mean, he's already splitting stuff down the middle. I mean, so really what happens with the money you receive from the wedding? Like, what do you do with that? Is it 50-50 or is that joint?
You didn't hear what he said?
That's joint. What are you splitting it for? What are you wanting to go do?
We
Like,
burned through
that's
that
what I'm
together.
But it's only joint if you have a joint account. If y'all don't have a joint account, you split it. I would think.
Well,
I mean,
get
I
them
don't.
wedding
That's not.
guests
I don't understand it splitting. Where is this coming from? We got money. Period. It's us. We got money.
Mhm.
It's our
Right.
money. If you want to get your hair cut, I want to get my nails
So,
done. It's our money. We spend it. Whatever. Like, there's no
so let me ask
balance.
you this,
Like,
Chloe.
you take 50, I take 50 of this 100. All right. Well, what you want to go do? I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. Okay. What we got left? Okay. Cool. Whatever. Like, I don't
I'm
understand.
with you, Chloe.
People make it bigger deals than what it has to be. It's all for you, both of you, to live your life comfortably. So why are you so focused on who has what?
That's true. Hold
Chloe,
on a second, Chloe.
let me ask you this though.
Wait,
Because
hold on, Cliff.
I would say okay.
Hold on, Cliff. This comment up here is for you because I know how much you went hard for Michael. Go ahead and read the comment real quick.
Michael vibes with the
He
lady.
about to go
It's
off.
giving
He about to
real
go off. He
Michael
did
vibes
have that
over here.
Honda.
What'd you think about that, Cliff?
Who's she talking about?
She said Chris giving Michael vibes from last year with the money.
I don't agree with that. You know, I don't agree with that. I just, like I said, when it comes to Chris, people say whatever's negative about him. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. They make a joke to down him. They look for reason to down him. So, like, I'm not surprised by that comment or the comments that's being said tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as what I was asking Chloe, my only thing was, I was like, with the money that you get from the wedding, I would say, you know, you split it if you don't have a joint account. But what if you have a joint account, right? Or you have that, let's say it's $100, and one person take $90 and spend it on something, then it's 10 left. Do that cause a problem?
But that's why you communicate about the money.
You gonna talk about that?
Yeah, you communicate whenever you do something. Like, even to this day, even if my husband has I have a separate account, he has a separate account, we have a joint account, right? And it don't even matter where the money come from. It doesn't matter if I use my money, his money, the joint account, whatever. We communicate. Oh, I'm about to buy this. I'm buying stuff for the house, blah, 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 whatever, right? It's never a question about what we spending the money on. We just communicate of how much we're spending or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, I think that's where a lot of disconnect come with couples when it comes to money. Why they have financial issues, because everybody's focusing on a number. You have to remember that you just have to make sure that everyone is comfortable in your family and your life. So it doesn't matter where the money comes from as long as it's there for you guys. That's their money. If she wants to go spend $60 to get her nails done and he spends $20 to get his hair cut, why does it matter that she spends $60, he spends $20? It's their money.
I think some people don't want to be questioned though about money. That's another reason why people have separate accounts.
It's not about questioning, it's about communication.
Yeah.
Money is really all communication, because at the end of the day, if I don't have any money, you got money, that means I don't have no money and I'm supposed to be your wife? No, that's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah, Cliff, you can't be talking about getting married and then talking about you don't want to talk about getting finances. That's a part of marriage.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is certain like I just named my parents who are in different marriages, but they all have separate accounts. The bills get paid, but they all have access to their own money.
So
and it works for them.
So let me give you an example. We married, right? We got a joint account. We pay all the bills. I got $20 left in my account. You make more than me. You got $300, right? And I say, oh, I need to get, my tire fixed. I got a flat tire. I got to say, can I borrow $50 to get a new tire? Like, what? No.
It's not a borrow. No, it wouldn't be a borrow.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to money, it shouldn't be so much about who has what and whatever. As long as everything is taken care of, at the end of the day, it's y'all money. You're not gonna go hungry because I got more money than you.
And then you gotta think about a budget. Like, I'm sure you all have. I can only speak from my past. When we put our money together, we had our own separate accounts. We worked out what the bills were due for the month or whatever going forward. If we were planning for a trip, we put money aside for a trip. And then we had discretionary money. Most times, and he used to, get on me about that. Like, babe, stop using your discretionary money to get groceries and stuff and things like that. Your discretionary money is for your discretion. We have a budget for groceries and things like that. So with Paige being an accountant, I, I have a feeling that they were going to have something structured where it wouldn't be like, well, this is mine and this is yours. And da, da, da. No, it is the household, like Chloe said. When you are together, whether you're married or not, when you're under one roof, everything is everybody's. And then you can kind of divvy it up as you see fit. Like that's
Well,
where I got
okay, like
lost. Like what
okay,
happened?
like just to use this example, like with my father pay everything, right? He pays everything, and he tells my stepmother only thing she got to do is pay her credit card bill.
Right.
So is that unfair? Like if he's paying everything, do they need a joint account? I don't think they do.
No, it
I
ain't
mean, they
about
could if they
needing a
want
joint
to.
account. It's just if that's what you and her got to discuss that. Like if y'all come to a conclusion, like, look, I'm gonna have mine, you gonna have yours, and then we gonna do we do. That's y'all decision.
Yeah.
And like even me and my own personal relationships when women live with me, and I guess I get it from my father. I paid everything. So whatever you did with your money, you did with your money. I didn't look at it like that.
Right.
Not saying if there was ever a dire need, which didn't happen, like I couldn't go to them and say, hey, let me get this. Thank God I didn't have to do all that. But I'm just saying I let their money be their money because I felt like I'm taking care of all of this. So there was no need for a joint account. There's no need to put it because I'm paying for everything.
Right. I just think it just goes back to what your specific dynamic is and what works best for you. Because again, just reeling this back to Paige and Chris, I just think that he doesn't have the money that he says he does. And with her being an accountant, now we can reference this to last season, season before last with Mika and Michael. Mika was an accountant too, and Michael didn't necessarily remember that fact and tried to give her those different pay stubs, different. So I think maybe this might be the same or similar situation. Maybe he doesn't want her to know, Chris doesn't want Paige to know certain things about his business or his finances, you know, at the time when he did have this.
Now, Mom, let me ask you a question. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that way? Because there's nothing he did that gave off that energy. So why do you feel that way?
Well, because in the beginning, when at the wedding, when they first was meeting each other and knowing what they did for a living, you know, it's like, oh, well, you know, what does Chris lead off with? Like, well, you know, I had the first Subway as a, you know, youngest person to have a Subway. I'm the first this, you know, I'm getting my own house. She's like, oh, really? I have my own house. This and that. Oh, and he's like, oh, you are? Like, kind of like one upper, but she already had the same or more than he had. So when he learned he was an accountant, you know, that kind of came across as like, oh, okay, like maybe you're good with money. So maybe since he's flashy, he's not necessarily good with money. Maybe he's used to spending money, and he doesn't want anyone to have him take accountability for the money he's spending frivolously. That's why I say that about Chris.
I think for
Well, I don't know if he got more than him. I think he was more surprised because the women he date don't have what she has. I think that's really that's the vibe I got when I was watching the wedding.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, I want Chris to understand that Paige makes her own, and with the joint account, at least what I perceive was that she wants to contribute to the household. She said it herself that joint account's for our bills, for our livelihood. And so for me, I think Chris said, I got you, you're good. So I hope we have a more deeper understanding how Paige wants to perceive this relationship. Because maybe Paige like, no, I want to contribute besides paying my credit card bills. I don't have credit card bills. Maybe she doesn't have that. Maybe we should do something else. Or maybe in the future, maybe they want to be like you know, start our own business together, what they want to do. I thought that comment was just a little bit too dismissive, and I want them to be more exploring why she felt that way. I think she wants Chris to know that I am your partner and I will support you. That also means financial support this household. And I can do that. You know, she's a capable person. And so I think there's like a clash between maybe Chris not wanting either because remember, he's always talking about gold diggers, gold diggers. So one problem, like, oh, maybe he's scared to let her know about his money because she might, you know, do something, you know, take out insurance policy or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, you know,
so does Chris want more of like a hypergamy type of relationship or marriage, like he wants to live like the hypergamous lifestyle, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like he wants the woman who kind of wants him for those things, although he doesn't want her. He doesn't want to be wanted for his money. Does that make sense?
It does.
I mean, Chris lives with his money, and what makes me nervous about that is for someone such as that, what happens without it? Who are you without it? Because one of the awesome things for me, I can't speak for others, but with Chris, it just became so materialistic. Even when his family was describing during the wedding, he likes finding things alive. He likes flashy clothes. He likes this. I'm like, what's his personality like? And so I get nervous because I'm like, without the money, without the clothes, who is Chris? Does he know himself? And so it makes me nervous when he puts so much emphasis on the success that it kind of detracts away from him as a person.
Yeah.
So it just makes me nervous with him sometimes.
Yeah, I think he sees that child support coming too, but then again, I think he sees a lot of things coming down the line.
Yep. And if Paige smart, she might as well keep her money separate because you ain't about to dig my paycheck.
She better learn from Whitney Houston now.
We don't need no joint account over here no more, girl.
No, if you're married,
if you married, they coming for you. You can have a joint account or not. They coming for you.
Yeah, that's what happened to Yandy. Yandy and Love and Hip Hop. He's like, we're married in spirit.
That's not even her fault. She ain't even get a fair warning. She just married this man now. He got a baby, about to get a child support coming out her check. This ain't even right, yo. She better get a.
You're gonna have to up the rent on that property. Just
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna need more than half from you, sir. More than half.
Right, which is why she's an accountant and she should already know these things. Like they're coming for your check and your tax refund too, if you get one.
Girl, she don't. Paige don't care. As long as she get her God-fearing husband, she'll give him the whole check, please.
God rest her soul, but Paige is gonna be 10 toes down like Bobby and Whitney. Like, I love Whitney Houston, but she definitely, when her career sort of ascended higher than, Bobby's, like she was paying his child support. She,
she was.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I didn't say he wasn't huge, but her career lasted a little longer than his.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
My husband said it was her fault that he was on crack, so I guess it's even.
Is crack is what? Girl, no.
That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said it.
Oh, that's right. But that's not alleged. That's really on TV.
I heard that too.
Yeah, that's on what's her name? Diane somebody all those years ago. So that's not alleged. Diane Sawyer, that's it.
Oh.
But you guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We know it's late for most of you.
Yes, I'm supposed to be in bed.
I know. I just checked y'all time where y'all like, oh no, it's only 7:40 over there. They just now.
Oh yeah, it's almost. We pushing 11 o'clock over here.
Right, it's 10:40 over here.
I know. So that's why I'm trying to wrap it up for everybody. Thank you for joining our impromptu. We'll be doing more soon. We really appreciate everybody watching, tuning in, and supporting.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Chloe. And if you don't know Chloe, check out her channel.
I'm sure you guys do.
Well, if they don't, you never know. And anybody else that's a content creator on here as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Always. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next live, probably next week or sometime.
More than likely, yeah. Because knowing me, right? Because I want to see. When I want to go live, I'm gonna tell y'all when we see the friends and family or the baby mama drama. So we'll probably see you next Thursday. So just be on the lookout.
All right, thanks for working with me.
Chloe,
yes.
Chloe, let everybody know when you're going live.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of exact. I don't know if it's gonna be Saturday or Sunday yet. So I'll figure it out.
Oh, and for everybody where there's weather, rain, snow, all that stuff, stay safe because we see that on the news. So it looks real terrible. So you guys be careful driving home or wherever you have to go. So
yeah,
we're thinking.
You guys too.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Sunday.
So we over here.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.